Conservatives were in office, quote unquote, and I use conservatives very lightly because let's be very clear. Foundational Black Americans, we are very conservative. Why? Because we've been here longer than any other group. Foundational Black Americans, our lineage goes back to this land longer than any group. Our shit goes back thousands and thousands of years to the Folsom people. There have been Black Aboriginal people on this land for thousands, if not probably millions of years, but we know thousands of years. There have been Black people who are Aboriginal on this land. Our lineage comes from that as well as the brothers and sisters from the diaspora who came here.
Is Tariq correct? Have we really been here thousands of years? Black is not an ethnic group. Black is a color. Australian Aboriginals are black in the sense that they have dark skin. You could argue that Native Americans are black, being that they are also dark-skinned people, but Tariq isn't referring to these natives. Tariq believes African American descendants of slaves are indigenous to this land. Tariq mentions the Folsom people. He claims African Americans are descended from these people. Is this true? The Folsom people are Native Americans who lived in the central United States around 11,000 years ago. We have no individuals from the society to analyze to see if they are ancestral to African Americans. We do, however, have DNA from the Clovis culture. The Clovis culture is the predecessor of the Folsom culture, so if African Americans are descendants of people from the Folsom culture, they should also be descended from the Clovis culture. Anzac 1 is the name given to an infant from the Clovis culture who died an estimated 12.5 thousand years. A genetic analysis revealed he belonged to the haplogroup D4H3A. D4H3A is a rare haplogroup that is exclusively found in modern indigenous populations in North and South America. In a previous video I mentioned a study of 343 African Americans mtDNA that found 85.71% belonged to the haplogroups L0, L1, L2, L3 and L4. These 5 haplogroups had their highest distribution in sub-Saharan Africa. The remaining 14.29% belonged to European and South Asian haplogroups such as R0, R, M, U, and N. This brings me to my next point. The fact that African Americans have haplogroups that are most common in modern-day sub-Saharan Africa makes it impossible for African Americans to have been here thousands of years. As two populations are separate, more variants evolve in either population. Had African Americans been here for thousands of years, not only would we expect to find ancient remains that share their haplogroups with African Americans, but we'd find haplogroups in African Americans that are specific to African Americans. We don't find either of these things. To make a long story short, African American DNA suggests recent African origin. It is impossible for African Americans to have been here on this land for thousands of years.